Most men enter the game of attraction without understanding the fundamental truth that desire is not sparked by effort or kindness alone, but by the psychological dynamics of power, control, and perception. In our modern society, men are often taught to be nice, to pursue relentlessly, and to prove their worth through validation and vulnerability. Yet, beneath this well-meaning advice lies a trap where men exhaust their emotional resources, lose their boundaries, and become invisible in the very pursuit they believe will win affection. The ancient political strategist Machiavelli saw beyond surface gestures and empty words to the cold, strategic nature of human relationships. He understood that attraction, like power, is a matter of mindset and psychological mastery. When a man thinks like this, like a master of strategy and emotional economy, he no longer chases, instead, he commands. He becomes the gravitational center around which desire orbits. Women, attuned to subtle cues of strength and sovereignty, naturally find themselves drawn to such a man. This is the profound psychological secret behind the 7 Machiavellian rules for attraction. The first and most critical rule is to withhold validation, recognizing it not as a casual gift but as a valuable currency. Validation is the psychological fuel that powers desire, but its value lies in scarcity and discretion. Most men distribute validation carelessly, compliments flow freely, texts are answered instantly, attention is given without boundaries. This reckless generosity dilutes their perceived value and extinguishes the vital tension that keeps desire alive. The Machiavellian man understands that to withhold validation is to set a standard, to create an emotional economy where attention and praise are rewards for behaviors that meet his criteria. This withholding is not cruelty but strategic self-respect. It creates scarcity, which triggers a deep, primal urge in women to compete for approval and affection. This is not about manipulation but about fostering genuine respect through self-discipline and emotional control. The subtle act of withholding sends a powerful message: you are not desperate for approval, your attention must be earned. This alone elevates your psychological status and transforms the dynamic from pursuit to attraction. Closely linked to this is the second rule, maintaining emotional opacity. In an era of constant oversharing and emotional transparency, the ability to remain unreadable is a rare and formidable advantage. Emotional opacity is not deceit, it is the deliberate preservation of mystery. It creates a psychological puzzle that the mind cannot easily solve, sparking curiosity and fascination. When a man reveals his entire emotional landscape prematurely, his fears, hopes, and insecurities, he removes the natural tension that fuels longing. Instead of wondering, she understands him fully and loses interest. The Machiavellian man controls his emotional expression, sharing selectively and responding with calm neutrality to testing or provocation. This does not mean he is cold or uncaring, but that he understands the value of emotional boundaries. By being opaque, he invites her to invest mentally and emotionally in uncovering who he really is. This investment deepens attraction because the brain rewards mystery with dopamine, the chemical of desire. Cultivating emotional opacity demands resilience and confidence, for it requires sitting comfortably with ambiguity and resisting the urge to seek constant validation. The third rule is the command of your time, a demonstration of your self-worth that speaks louder than words. Time is the ultimate resource, the finite currency that no man can replenish. Men who are overly available, who cancel plans, or who respond instantly to every message broadcast weakness and low social value. They show that their lives lack purpose or mission beyond seeking connection or approval. In contrast, the Machiavellian man guards his time zealously. His schedule revolves around clear goals, priorities, and a mission that transcends momentary desires. By selectively granting access to his time, he creates scarcity, a key driver of psychological value. Scarcity heightens intrigue and respect because it signals that his presence is not easily obtained or wasted. This guarded approach projects power, demonstrating that his life is meaningful and controlled. It also breeds independence and emotional strength, qualities that are highly attractive because they promise stability and leadership. Protecting your time demands discipline, intentionality, and the courage to say no to distractions and superficial engagements. Fourth, framing yourself as the prize transforms the very architecture of attraction. Most men mistakenly place women on pedestals, elevating them as rewards to be won while relegating themselves to supplicants desperate for attention. This inversion destroys attraction and feeds insecurity. The Machiavellian understands that attraction thrives on imbalance, where one is pursued and the other pursues. By framing himself as the prize, the man asserts his inherent value and demands that others meet his standards. This frame is conveyed through confident posture, measured speech, clear boundaries, and calm detachment. When you hold this frame, women instinctively feel the psychological tension that compels pursuit. They begin to question their own worth relative to yours, igniting desire not out of manipulation, but because your certainty signals high social and emotional value. Owning this frame requires deep self-awareness and an unyielding commitment to your own worth, refusing to settle or apologize for your standards. The fifth rule is the strategic use of indifference as a psychological filter. Indifference is frequently misunderstood as emotional coldness or disinterest, but in reality, it is an act of emotional sovereignty. By refusing to overinvest in those who do not reciprocate interest or respect, the Machiavellian man protects his emotional energy and maintains clarity about who deserves his attention. Indifference communicates that your approval and presence are precious, not to be wasted on games or insincerity. This filter works by creating psychological tension. Those who are genuinely interested lean in and engage more deeply, while those who are not drop away, revealing their true intentions. This process prevents emotional exhaustion and cultivates connections built on mutual respect. The balance of selective engagement maintains intrigue and keeps others guessing, which sustains attraction over time. Sixth, the principle of speaking through action rather than words embodies the essence of authentic power. In a culture saturated with empty talk, performative vulnerability, and oversharing, the man who consistently demonstrates his values through behavior stands apart. Actions carry more weight than words because they reveal true intention and integrity. The Machiavellian man does not feel the need to explain or justify himself constantly. Instead, he builds trust and attraction through consistent, deliberate deeds, showing loyalty, respect, and strength without the need for constant verbal affirmation. This stoic approach cultivates emotional security and respect because it signals maturity and depth. Over time, actions create a psychological foundation of reliability that words alone can never achieve, turning attraction into something substantial and lasting. Finally, the seventh and most foundational rule is to own your frame at all costs. Your frame is your internal reality, the psychological territory where your identity, values, and worldview reside. It is the lens through which you interpret and engage with the world. Maintaining this frame requires unshakable confidence and emotional resilience, especially in the face of external pressures, criticism, or attempts to destabilize you. When you hold your frame firmly, you radiate stability and leadership, qualities that women and people in general are instinctively drawn to because they signal safety and strength. Losing frame, on the other hand, signals desperation and weakness, instantly eroding attraction. Owning your frame means refusing to compromise your standards or self-respect to gain approval. It means responding to challenges with calm assertiveness and maintaining your internal sovereignty regardless of external chaos. This steadfast presence is magnetic because it promises security and consistency in a world often marked by uncertainty and drama. When you integrate these 7 Machiavellian rules into your mindset and behavior, you fundamentally shift the nature of attraction. No longer are you chasing approval or validation, you become the steady, powerful force that naturally draws others in. You generate desire through psychological gravity, an aura of mystery, control, and self-possession that commands attention without begging for it. This is not about manipulation or superficial games, it is about mastering the deep psychological architecture of human desire and relationships. It demands discipline, patience, and relentless commitment to self-mastery. This is how women begin to chase you. This is the secret of true, lasting attraction. This is Machiavellian attraction.